After key activities comes key resources. Key resources are things that you need in order to be a competitor. Key resources are going to be linked directly to your key activities, and your key activities are linked directly to your key partners. You should be able to start seeing chains in between each of these items now. When you're looking at key resources, think of who is going to help you achieve your goal, what action they will take, and what do you need to put in place to make it happen. As an author, you need to know what your competitors are doing. You need to know how to either be on par with them or better. You need to know what will get you to their level. If you want your book to be next to Harry Potter on the shelf, you need to look and make sure that your cover would be competitive with the Harry Potter cover. If you want your book to be next to Dr. Seuss, you need to look at your illustrations. Are they Dr. Seuss quality? And if they're not, a key resource would be an illustrator. Your key resources could be a specific cover designer or a book formatter. You may need to investigate resources related to who will retail your book. Most authors are going to use what is called a horizontal integration instead of vertical integration. And we'll talk about this in the next slide, so don't worry about that just yet. But key pieces are resources that you need to manage. Defining this list will lead you to redefine other lists and show you what tasks you might need to outsource. If you are outsourcing tasks, you need to figure out how you're going to manage them. What system are you going to have in place to make sure that the sources you get outsourced are completed? That management system is now a key resource. So if you know that you're going to be outsourcing your cover design, you need to create a key resource to make sure that it's done. Now, let's talk about that horizontal versus vertical integration. This is going to help you understand your process. As authors, we want to think that we can do it all. But let me tell you right now, really, you can't. You need to hire professionals, and it is okay to hire professionals. If you want to make money off of your book, you're going to have to spend some money. There are ways to do it within a budget. There are plenty of sites out there, like the Happy Writing Author Market at happywriting.shop. There's Readsy, and there's also Fiverr. These are all great resources to provide you professionally created pieces at a budget price. But first of all, you have to understand your process. A vertically integrated flow means that you believe you can do everything. It's like a ladder. You don't need to worry about hiring or finding freelancers or professionals. You're going to tackle everything yourself. A horizontally integrated flow means that you need to hire more than you can do yourself. You have to rely on the resources of other professionals more than your own. And believe it or not, most authors think they're vertically integrated, but they really should be horizontally integrated. Now, the impact and budget of both of these is really great. In all aspects of being an author, you're either going to be investing your time or investing your money. That's one reason why a business plan matters, so you can see where your time needs to go, where your money needs to go, and stay within a budget. So if you think you're vertically integrated, you need to consider, can you spend more time but spend less money? Or should you really be horizontally integrated? Do you need to spend more money but take less time to get things done? If you're vertically integrated, you can only do one thing at a time. For example, I cannot design a cover at the same time that I'm formatting a book. But if I outsource part of my process into a horizontal flow, I can create my cover while somebody else is formatting, while somebody else is editing, and I can get all of those pieces tidied up and put together quicker than if I'm doing everything myself. So you need to decide, do you want to spend time or do you want to spend money? If you need to spend that time to create that vertically integrated flow to spend less money, now what you need to do is go back to your key resources and figure out what you need to learn. Do you need to learn cover design? Are you going to need to learn graphic design? Canva isn't always going to cut it for a professional cover. You're going to wind up with a cover that looks like everybody else. So do you want to be everybody else, or do you want to be at a higher level? This is where you need to figure out your flow and those resources. Another way to look at key resources is, what do you need to complete your work? What do you need to write your manuscript? How are you going to edit your manuscript? Do you need a specific program? Are you going to use Word or are you going to use Scrivener? Are you going to use Google Docs? Or are you going to use Dragon? How are you going to get your book formatted? Are you going to pay a professional or are you going to learn a software? Are you going to buy a software? What will you need to design a cover? Are you going to have to buy stock images? Are you going to need a subscription to a stock site? Do you have to buy licensing for fonts? Are you using Creative Commons images? What resources do you need for that cover? What intellectual property needs will you require? Are you going to file a copyright? Are you going to purchase ISBNs? Are you going to have to license movie quotes or song lyrics that you've included in your book? What intellectual property pieces will you need to legally put your book onto the market? Are you going to require heavy financial resources? What is your investment? Some authors do things like take out loans or borrow money to get things completed, or marketing. If you're going to do that, that is a key resource and that should be built into your plan. Finally, are you going to own or lease your resources? Some authors rent Macs, for example, or they rent Wacom tablets, or they buy a brand new computer or their computer dies. Those are all key resources and pieces that are vital for your business plan. Your business plan should cover absolutely everything and take all the guesswork out of what you need. I really hope you're enjoying writing your business plan. And now we're focusing on your key resources. So on this page of your business plan workbook, page 5, you're going to write your key resources to focus on, the resources that you're not quite sure of yet, and of course your key resources. And like we talked about in the module, you're going to notice that your key resources reflect the previous segments as well. Are you noticing any correlation yet? If you are, place a star next to those, or create some sort of coding system in between the pages that let you know which ones coordinate with the ones prior.